We are visiting the British Isles, United Kingdom, heading to Edinburgh, Scotland. It is pouring rain in London, and Diane's not worried at all. And that scares me.
We are in Edinburgh and we just purchased our tickets to this massive bus, and we are starved because we only have breakfast in London 8:30 in the morning and it's about 4 p.m. So this man needs to eat and this woman needs to drink.
It's a 16-minute bus ride to our Airbnb near the city center. Around the corner, we find this amazing Italian restaurant for a bite to eat. We head over to the center of town to High Street, also known as the Royal Mile, looking for this guy. His name is John, with a free Edinburgh walking tours. It's one of the most informative and fun tours we've ever taken. We learned, we laughed, and we admired.
The building behind me, folks, is known as St. Giles Cathedral. But this building, folks, is not a cathedral. This building is just a church. For this building to be a cathedral, there has to be a bishop seated here. And Scotland, the Church of Scotland anyway, has not had bishops since 1689.
The architecture of the church is stunning. The Gothic style stalls and beautiful stained glass windows truly makes this historic structure one of the most beautiful churches in Old Edinburgh.
As we continue to walk through narrow alleyways and side streets, you find so many hidden gems and old buildings full of history, like the Writers' Museum, located just off the Lawn Market, one of Edinburgh's oldest houses, built in 1622. It presents the lives of three of the foremost Scottish writers, Robert Louis Stevenson, Walter Scott, and Robert Burns, in a collection that includes portraits, works, and personal objects.
In central Edinburgh, we find the Greyfriars Kirk, one of the oldest surviving buildings in Old Town, built in 1602. The graveyard surrounding the church has an endearing story.
The most famous night watchman was this guy here, John Gray. John Gray was famous during his time because he was the first night watchman not to own a big, terrifying dog. He didn't own an Alsatian, a Doberman, or a German Shepherd. He owned a tiny little Skye Terrier puppy, and he gave it the threatening name of Bobby. John and Bobby were inseparable. Everywhere John went, Bobby was attached to his side. But only 2 years into their partnership, and John Gray here, tuberculosis, he drops dead, and it leaves this poor little dog alone in the graveyard. He was seen pacing around desperately searching for his master, crying his little puppy dog eyes out. John was laid to rest right here. Bobby remained here by his master's side though. Bobby remained here for the next 14 years. 14 years, this incredibly loyal dog stayed true to his master. today is known as the Hub, and the Hub is the centre for Edinburgh's International Festival. It began its life 72 years ago, and it was designed as a festival where only the best of the best, hand-selected to come here to Edinburgh to perform before the paying crowds. The best in theatre, drama, opera, ballet, they were invited to come to perform at this festival. If you were not a professional, if you were not at the top of your game, you were not invited. And you can imagine for a lot of people, they were a bit offended, a bit upset by this. So they decided to protest. They protested the International Festival by starting their own festival on the fringes of the International Festival. In the very same year, Edinburgh's Fringe Festival began. And the whole mantra of the Fringe Festival is that it's open to everybody. Regardless of talent, you can come to perform at Edinburgh's Fringe Festival. And that's the great thing about the Fringe Festival. That's also the worst thing.
We got to see many theater performances and shows. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. But we personally like the street performance talents. And of course, plenty of bagpipes.
We're on Victoria Street, inspiration for Diagon Alley in the Harry Potter series.
Edinburgh is where Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling lived while she wrote most of the Harry Potter books, and indeed where she still lives today. The cobbled curved street, its colorful shop fronts, restaurants, and vintage shops make it the city's most picturesque location. One of the most exciting experiences in our vacation was visiting the magnificent Edinburgh Castle, a historic fortress that looms over Edinburgh. As we arrive to the gates, we see the statues of Sir William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, two of Scotland's most celebrated historical figures, standing guard outside the castle. 1 o'clock gun, as it is known, was first fired in 1861 as a timekeeping service for ships anchored on the nearby Firth of Forth. Finally, we get to go to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. We ordered tickets online and they included a visit to the Scotch Whisky Experience, a tourist attraction that incorporates all stages of Scotch whisky, its history, tasting, and heritage.
Here we go, we enter the arena.
We had a fantastic time at Edinburgh. From its historic architecture, the medieval Old Town, the Georgian New Town, the pubs, the food, Edinburgh stands out as one of our favorite places in Europe. We loved the Fringe, the talent was amazing. Make sure you plan in advance. There are many apps that can help you organize the entertainment that you are looking for. If you don't mind large crowds, June through August is a great time to visit with all of the festivals taking place. Weather is around 65 degrees with winds, so pack a light jacket and definitely an umbrella. Until next trip, with videos of Paris and London coming out soon, like and subscribe.